Right. So you've got this whole water thing going on at your place, yeah? It's in your kitchen, your bathroom, maybe even a cheeky outdoor tap for the garden. But what if I told you you could take control of that water like a plumbing ninja? That's right, we're talking DIY water systems where you're the boss. Forget calling a plumber for every little leak or upgrade. We're talking about building custom watering systems for your plants, setting up epic water features in your garden, or even just fixing that annoying dripping tap yourself. It's all about taking charge and saying, I can do that. Now, before you go thinking you need a degree in plumbing engineering, relax. DIY water systems can be as simple or as complex as you want them to be. A few basic components, a bit of know-how, and a healthy dose of enthusiasm are all you need to get started. Trust me, it's easier than you think. And the best part? You'll be amazed at what you can achieve. You'll gain a whole new appreciation for how water flows through your house. And you might even discover a hidden talent for plumbing. Who knows? You might even start enjoying those trips to the hardware store. All right, let's talk tubing and fittings, the bread and butter of any DIY water system. Forget boring old copper pipes. We're living in a world of flexible PEX tubing, push-fit connectors, and enough adapters to make your head spin. It's like building a giant Lego set, but instead of plastic bricks, you're connecting pipes and making water go whoosh. First up, PEX tubing. This stuff is a dream to work with. It's flexible, so you can bend it around corners without needing a million elbows. Plus, it comes in different colors, so you can color code your hot and cold lines like a pro. No more guessing games when you turn on the tap. And then, there are the fittings. Oh boy, the fittings! We're talking push-fit connectors that let you join pipes with a simple click, valves for controlling water flow, and adapters for connecting different types of tubing. It's a beautiful thing. But the real fun starts when you realize the possibilities. Need to extend a pipe? No problem. Just grab a coupling and some more tubing. Want to split a water line? Easy peasy. T-connectors to the rescue. With a little creativity, you can build any water system your heart desires. Just remember to keep track of all those fittings. They have a funny habit of disappearing into the abyss of your toolbox. Now, before you get too carried away with your plumbing prowess, let's talk about a couple of challenges you might encounter on your DIY adventures: condensation and cost. Yeah, even in the exciting world of DIY, there are a few party poopers. But fear not, intrepid plumber. We've got solutions. Condensation, that pesky little dribble of water that forms on cold pipes, can be a real pain. Not only can it make a mess, but it can also lead to mold and mildew if left unchecked. But fear not, condensation can be tamed. Insulation is your best friend here. Wrapping your cold water pipes with foam insulation will prevent that annoying condensation from forming. Problem solved. And then there's the cost. Let's face it, plumbing supplies can be expensive, especially if you're working with fancy fittings and high-end tubing. But don't let that deter you from your DIY dreams. There are plenty of ways to keep your plumbing projects on budget. First off, shop around. Don't just settle for the first price you see. Compare prices online and at different hardware stores to find the best deals. And don't be afraid to get creative with your materials. Got some leftover PVC pipe from another project? See if you can repurpose it for your water system. Remember, a little ingenuity can go a long way in saving you some cash. Another cost-saving tip: plan your projects carefully, measure twice, cut once, as they say. Nothing drives up costs faster than having to redo a project because of a silly mistake. So take your time, plan it out, and you'll be well on your way to DIY plumbing success without breaking the bank. All right, time for a little DIY plumbing trickery. You know that trusty toilet fill valve? The one that magically refills your toilet bowl after you flush? Well, it turns out those little guys are way more versatile than you might think. We're talking about using them for all sorts of wacky and wonderful plumbing projects. For example, imagine you want to build a self-watering system for your plants. Instead of messing around with timers and complicated electronics, you can use a toilet fill valve to automatically keep your plants hydrated. Just connect the valve to a water source and adjust the float to the desired water level in your plant container. Boom! Automatic plant watering, DIY style. But wait, there's more. You can also use toilet fill valves to create automatic water features, like a bubbling fountain or a cascading waterfall. Just connect the valve to a pump and let the waterworks begin. It's a simple and cost-effective way to add a touch of tranquility to your garden. And the best part is, toilet fill valves are readily available and relatively inexpensive. You can find them at any hardware store, and they're pretty easy to install. So, Next time you're tackling a plumbing project, think outside the toilet bowl and consider the humble toilet fill valve. You might be surprised at what you can create. Now I know what you're thinking. Colin, this DIY plumbing stuff sounds great, but isn't it a bit, well, quirky? And you know what? You're absolutely right, but that's part of the fun. DIY plumbing is all about finding creative and sometimes unconventional solutions to your water-related woes. Take, for instance, using a garden hose to unclog a stubborn drain. Sure, you could go out and buy a fancy drain snake, but a good old-fashioned hose with a powerful jet of water can often do the trick just as well. Just be prepared for a bit of a splashback. Or how about using a bucket and a rope to create a siphon for draining a water tank? It's a classic trick that's been used for centuries, and it works like a charm. Just remember to start the siphon by sucking on the hose, not blowing into it. These quirky solutions might raise a few eyebrows. But hey, if it works, right? And let's be honest, there's a certain satisfaction that comes with solving a plumbing problem using nothing but your wits and a few household items. It's like MacGyver, but with pipes and wrenches. Now let's talk about the real reason why DIY plumbing is so darn satisfying. That feeling of accomplishment when you finish a project and everything works perfectly. You know the feeling, right? That moment when you turn on the tap and water flows exactly where it's supposed to, without a single leak or drip. It's a beautiful thing, but it's more than just the satisfaction of a job well done. It's about taking control of your surroundings, of not being afraid to get your hands dirty and figure things out for yourself. It's about the sense of empowerment that comes from knowing that you can handle whatever plumbing challenges life throws your way. And let's not forget the bragging rights. Imagine inviting your friends over and casually mentioning that you installed that new bathroom sink all by yourself, or showing off your homemade irrigation system that's keeping your garden lush and green. They'll be impressed and you'll be basking in the glow of your DIY plumbing prowess. But the real joy of DIY plumbing lies in the journey, not just the destination. It's about the learning process, the problem solving, and yes, even the occasional frustration. We've all been there. It's about pushing your limits, trying new things, and discovering hidden talents you never knew you had. So go forth, my plumbing Padawans, and embrace the joys of a job well done, yourself. Now, I've talked a lot about the fun and satisfaction of DIY plumbing, but there's another, more practical side to it. It can be a real lifesaver. Imagine this, it's a Sunday afternoon, you're relaxing at home, and suddenly, disaster strikes. A pipe bursts, a faucet explodes, or your toilet decides to stage a watery rebellion. Panic sets in as you realize that calling a plumber on a weekend will cost you an arm and a leg. But wait, you're a DIY plumbing hero in the making. Armed with your trusty tools and newfound knowledge, you swoop in to save the day. You isolate the problem, patch up the leak, or replace the faulty part, all while your family looks on in awe and admiration. You've averted disaster, saved the day, and kept your hard-earned cash safely in your wallet. Take that plumbing emergency. And let's be honest, there's a certain thrill that comes with fixing something yourself, especially in the face of a plumbing crisis. It's like being your own personal superhero, swooping in to save the day with a wrench and a roll of Teflon tape. So next time a plumbing problem rears its ugly head, don't despair. Embrace your inner DIY plumber and show that leaky faucet who's boss. By now, I hope I've inspired you to embrace your inner DIY plumber and tackle some water-related projects around your home. But you might be wondering, where do I even begin? Well, fear not, my plumbing apprentices. The path to DIY mastery is closer than you think. First things first, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. The best way to learn about plumbing is to dive right in and start tinkering. Start with small, manageable projects like fixing a leaky faucet or installing a new shower head. As you gain confidence, you can gradually work your way up to more challenging tasks. Next, equip yourself with the right tools and knowledge. A basic set of plumbing tools, including a pipe wrench, adjustable wrench, and Teflon tape, will go a long way. And don't underestimate the power of online resources. YouTube is a treasure trove of plumbing tutorials, offering step-by-step guidance on everything from fixing a running toilet to installing a new water heater. But most importantly, don't be afraid to experiment and make mistakes. Every plumbing mishap is a learning opportunity in disguise. So, Embrace the challenges, learn from your blunders, and celebrate your successes. Remember, the journey of 1,000 plumbing repairs begins with a single drip. So there you have it, my DIY plumbing enthusiasts. We've explored the wonderful world of water systems, from basic tubing and fittings to quirky solutions and the undeniable satisfaction of a job well done yourself. We've tackled condensation catastrophes, conquered budget battles, and even discovered the hidden potential of toilet fill valves. But most importantly, we've learned that DIY plumbing is about more than just fixing pipes and stopping leaks. It's about taking control, being resourceful, and finding creative solutions to everyday challenges. It's about the confidence that comes from knowing you can handle whatever plumbing gremlins life throws your way. So, what are you waiting for? Dive in and get your hands wet. Embrace your inner plumbing ninja. Unleash your DIY creativity. And remember, with a little bit of knowledge, a dash of ingenuity, and a healthy dose of enthusiasm, you too can become a master of the waterworks. Now go forth and conquer those plumbing projects.